what's up, everybody? Thank you guys for tuning in. Like always, smash that like button. Subscribe to my channel. Helps my channel grow. I thank you guys that's already been subscribed so far. Thank you guys for tuning in and for checking out my lives and my videos. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead and join my community. Go to my Patreon page at SymCast Podcast /patreon.com. Different tiers over there for you guys. I posted some rewards, fun things. Can't do these videos and this content without you guys and without you guys' support. Shout out to my top tier member, Mr. Junior Flash. I thank you. Welcome to my channel, to my Chef Talking Reviews, where I review the DC TV shows, the Arrowverse, a lot of comics content, DC films, and a lot of TV shows and different things. So I will be reviewing the Flash season finale or series finale, titled A New World Part 4. We had a good week. Unfortunately, if you guys are not up with the series, they finally ended their series last week. So we get to say farewell to Grant Gustin as the Flash. I thank him for, basically for being great at his job. He really brought the Flash to life all 9 years or 9 seasons. He was our first or second live action version of the Flash. Well, the first version was the one that played Henry Allen and also played Jay Garrick on the Flash. He played Flash on another TV show back in the day. So shout out to him. But we thank Grant Gustin for all the time you put in and giving us the best episodes and the best show in the Arrowverse. So let's get started. First, we see the episode starts off where it continued from the last episode and basically throughout the whole graphic novels of with all these parts, where we see Eddie. He's already been struggling with the negative speed force, and we find out that the negative speed force pretty much wants him to be that avatar and to do away with Barry, because they don't like Barry, everything that's tied to the negative speed force, and then trying to play off the fact of Eddie and the way he died. You feel like Barry's living his life, living the life that he should have had with Iris, with the child and everything. So negative speed force played off of that, played off of those feelings that he had, and the darkness he had in the inside. So he pretty much embraced it. So in this episode, we saw that he pretty much embraced the whole thing and showed up to the hospital. We see Barry, he actually made it back to see the birth. So during that time, we see we see Eddie shows up at the hospital, letting them know that he's not going to give up and that he's still going to get him back for all the things that he felt like he did, and taking his life and everything. And then we also see inside the negative speed force where we get the cameo that we've been waiting on. All season we've been seeing all the behind the scenes photos. I've been posting things. We all knew who was coming back. So for this finale, we got a chance to see in the negative speed force pretty much all the speedsters that was against Barry, all in one room. We saw Zoom first appear, then Godspeed. Then, we cannot forget about the Reverse Flash, Eobard. So he shows up to the party, pretty much Cobalt Blue. He's embraced his powers and wants them to work with him to get rid of Barry and to get rid of the Speed Force altogether. So he gets them to work with him, even though they kind of reluctant, like, why do we need you and all of that, but they end up working with him. And I see that it was some kind of like a modern day, what they say, Legion of Zoom. I thought I saw something like that in the comics where they all banded together to go against Barry. So if you guys not familiar with that, go ahead, check it out. I may do a video on that as well, like I did my other videos, kind of highlighting that aspect of the story with the villains and showing the Legion of Zoom and pretty much telling you who these guys are and who's a part of that team. But we see the face-off with Team Flash against, like I said, the Legion of Zoom with Savitar. So we have all of these people all together now. Now we get the scene where they all facing together. We got Nora fighting Savitar. We got Zoom against Keon and Mark. And also then we get a chance to see Godspeed show up. We see he does that cloning technique that he does when he makes several versions of himself, but he's actually fighting Cecile. And like we saw, I saw a lot in the comments where people had a lot of mixed things, a lot of mixed reviews on this episode, and then mainly with Cecile, because throughout this season, or in last season, we pretty much didn't know how her powers worked. If they kind of gave us things throughout episodes and adding things to her powers and kind of increasing it, almost kind of OP. But so we saw her pretty much levitating or flying in the air and taking care of Godspeed that way, where they had that face off into the building. Well, we saw that power, didn't know she could have that. But like I saw some people commenting, on social media that pretty much with people who have those kind of powers, telekinesis, it usually goes along with flight or levitation, like we see sometimes in the X-Men comics and those characters. So I can kind of understand that, but they kind of did a poor job at giving Cecile her powers and keeping it as what it should have been. She's an empath or what, but I guess she just was an all-around character where she just possessed all those kind of powers. So, so that was cool. Then we saw that Savitar pretty much captured Nora and then stabbed her the same way how her mother was supposed to get stabbed and killed through that episodes and with that Savitar era. But it looked like she phased out and pretty much got away and stabbed him. Then they defeated Zoom. Keon and Mark, they defeated Zoom. Then we see Cecile, she defeats Godspeed. So they pretty much defeat all these characters. And that's one thing that I had a complaint about, that, even though we got the chance to see the cameos, it was kind of short-lived. I would rather wanted to see some of these people, more, because even like with the Godspeed story, we saw, they hyped it up so much and then we got a chance to see them, but it wasn't as what we thought. So I thought they would at least spend more time with these villains and speedsters and things, but especially because it was the finale. But, either they couldn't do it the way they wanted to, or they just felt that, like in the writing, that was good enough, But we see everybody get defeated. We saw the scene where, Reverse Flash, he shows up in the Star Labs where Chester is, kind of reminiscent of Cisco, how he put the hand through Cisco. So they pretty much kind of had a face off, him and Chester, the Reverse Flash, that he shocks him with his lightning or his energy or whatever, and pretty much keeps doing it to him until Allegra had to stop and step in. So we saw that, but like I said, he got defeated so fast, and that was it. I at least thought the Flash would have had some kind of more of a face off with him at least, but I guess they figured we had enough of the Reverse Flash throughout the season, terrorizing Barry, and we did have some good scenes with Tom Cavanaugh as the Reverse Flash and as Eobard. So I enjoyed it. Could have been more, but I still enjoyed it though. But we saw that since they all got defeated, Eddie or Cobalt Blue, now that he has the outfit, he has a suit now. He's embracing the power that he's drawing all of the speedsters back to him, the energy back to, taking a negative force from them and power himself up after he got powered down. So we saw that. So they all disappeared. Then then on the flip side of that, we see Keone. She's, like we know that she's had these powers and pretty much been embracing who she is and kind of accepting everything, where we get a chance to, to see her. And matter of fact, with the Harrison Wells character, he comes back, or as a Wells, he comes back. We see a scene with those two guys, with him and Keone, pretty much letting her know that her destiny has been fulfilled. That we know it's time for her to move on and kind of embrace who she is now. So that was cool to see that, because that was like the other side story with Nora being born and everybody's being together after all of the things been happening. But then Keone, talking to Barry, Barry's trying to figure out that he has to go to the negative speed force. He figured that's the only way he can stop or, stop everything from happening. But where Keone's trying to let him know that everything don't have to be solved with, with violence, because they've been having an ongoing war between each other, the forces and everything with Barry, that she figured that, maybe that they can come to a common ground or some kind of, solution together, working together and pretty much coexisting, So she helps him go to the Speed Force. He finally faces off with Cobalt Blue. They have a bit of a fight. Barry kind of letting him know that he's not going to fight back, that he's here to, to kind of embrace him and let's work together. These other avatars, they was already about the killing, the too many losses, the too many lives being sacrificed and everything. Even Eddie, like you said, with all of this and all of the things that he's done, it's like he's turning into the man that he sacrificed himself to kill, So he just let him know, like, let's coexist together. Even though that we don't agree on everything, that maybe we can work together and not have so much violence that we've been having. So, throughout the whole 9 years. So that was pretty cool that they came to some kind of resolution. Now we cut back to to Chester. We see that once he's recovering, Mark's letting him know that, with all of this lightning that Eobard was giving him, what Reverse Flash was doing, that he didn't have a scratch on him. That they come to a conclusion that pretty much after the black hole situation that he was embodied with the black hole, that he still has some of that in him, where what they explain to be a chunk, which is pretty much his name in the comics of who Chester is, and that's what his powers is, and explained that that's why he's still alive. So he celebrated that. That was cool to see that he's got some, that he was a meta. We all knew what the comics say and what his character was. So that was cool that they wrapped his story up with that. Like I said, by it being the finale, I like the fact that they did wrap each individual stories up that, that we've been seeing throughout the years or, the couple seasons. So that was cool. And then finally, we got Nora. She comes into the world. They birth Nora. We see the scene with all of the Team Flash, and after all of this fighting stopped, that they're there for the birth. And we see the scene, which is kind of weird, like Nora said, is Nora holding Nora, So, and then we get the little joke. We all knew that when Nora came from the time, back from the future to help, and she spent the whole time or the whole season with Barry with the timeline, with no one saying anything about it. Like it could have been damaging to the timeline, where the little joke they said, well, But Nora said herself, well, should I even be here right now with the timeline? But they brushed it off and laughed. Well, uh, you here now, so can't do nothing about it. So that was fun to see that they poke fun at themselves. So yep. So we see the birth. We see Joe. He getting his famous talks, his famous speech, talking to everyone. Where we see that he finally proposed to Cecile. Now that they getting married, they moving on. He letting her know that he's proud of her for being mom, having a career, superhero, and everything like that. That they love and still get through it. Because we saw in the last episode where Cecile was kind of struggling with everything that's been going on and how she's been away from her family, that she thought that what the future was holding, like she saw that she may lose her family. So that was good that Joe said that to her, and that they can pretty much build from that and move on from the future from that. So then now, like I said, with all of the story wrap up, we see Keone. She's finally about to leave. She says her goodbyes, but then we see this light, and she's kind of look like she's metamorphosing or something, or pretty much looks like she's changing into something else now, where she ascended but left her original body. So pretty much she's Caitlin now. So it's like the spirit of Keone has disappeared and then brought back to life Caitlin. So they didn't kind of explain it as well, but I guess to bring it to kind of end the story with all of the Team Flash and with everybody still there, I guess they brought Caitlin back, to wrap her story up as well. We get the apology from Barry from what happened before, where she was trying to bring Frost back. So they wrapped their story up in a good positive note. So that was cool to see all of that. And then, we cut to the scene, I guess a week after everything happened, where Barry and Iris, they're at home now. They're there with Nora. Nora gets to crying. So we get to see Barry. He gets to talking to her, telling her the story of her dad, almost reminiscent of the first episode, where he talks about who he is. I'm Barry Allen, and everything like that. So that was cool take on that. So he pretty much telling the story of himself. We see a montage of he's talking about how Oliver told him, to kind of share in what he has, his powers, and trying to help people, to kind of get the burden off of him a little bit, that he can help people with his powers, that instead of, I guess, like everybody been thinking that he was going to turn into the lightning that struck him in the first place, but that would have pretty much changed the timeline, or he would have been dead already or something, that wouldn't have worked. So I guess this was kind of a little better, where he used the lightning to kind of spread his power to people. So we got the chance to see Avery Ho that he chose, Max Mercury, his name been dropped a lot of times, so that was cool to see him. And then we also see Jesse Chambers. So with these three people, now they becoming speedsters. I wish I would have loved to see how they would have looked in their costumes and their suit, and how they would have looked in their time, as speedsters. But by this being the end of a series, they just kind of left on a cliffhanger. Let us kind of imagine how they would look. I believe when I posted my video of the 10 top speedsters, I highlighted these characters too. So you guys can go over there and check me out, or check that video out, so you can see and get some info on these guys. And also go to my socials too. I'm on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at SymCast Podcast, or SymCast Podcast and Media. Go ahead and follow me there. And also hit the notification bell too. So when I do post videos and a lot of behind the scenes photos and things like that, you guys won't miss out. So that was pretty much the episode. They ended with the Flash running after he's spreading his powers out to all of these individuals. That he ends with the final run, pretty much like the tagline we've been hearing throughout this season. So we bid a farewell to the Flash and to Grant Gustin. We saw in interviews that he actually said that, you know, that like we know, he's going to always be associated with the Flash. So if they actually call him or, you know, wants him to be a part of anything that got something to do with that character, he said he'll do it, you know, long as it's right for him and right for the fans. Well, rightly so. So thanks, Grant. Appreciate it. So thank you guys for tuning in to my channel and to my video. Even though the Flash is ending, we have Superman and Lois. They returns Tuesday. I will be doing my synopsis and my episode review, pretty much prepping us before the episode comes. I will be posting that probably tomorrow. And then I may go live for the episode again, like I did last week for Superman and Lois, 7 p.m. Central Time. So make sure you catch me there. Like I said, stay locked into my channel so you guys won't miss out when I do. But if I don't go, I will post my video afterwards. And then, you know, also, I will be bringing some more content to you guys. Some Flash-related videos, too. Kind of giving my overall take on the whole series as a whole. So stay on the lookout for that. Also, I may be ranking like the villains and the pretty much the different people that showed up on the Flash, the different characters, the different people from the comics. So may do a video on that as well. So like I said, stay locked in. So thank you guys again for tuning in. Like always, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. Peace.